Jay here. I'm here to bring you a review on Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 8. The beginning of this episode, it goes to outer space and it shows us like some rectangular, like ship like thing. Like, and it gets hit by a fucking asteroid and it gets hit to Earth and it crash lands to Earth. So after that, it goes to Jack and Ashi and they're like in town and they're like shopping for food or whatever and trying food and shit. And Jack tries some food and then he gets turned into some fish, like a fish head. And then he tries to give Ashi the same food that he tried when to turn him into a fish head, and she's like, "Nah, I'm good." Then Ashi and Jack head like towards some room. Like I guess it's on some big ass camel looking fucking big ass giant thing that's carrying like I guess it's like a transportation thing, like it's like a fucking taxi or something or whatever. So they go in there, and when they get in there, it's like a bunch of green tigers and shit. And when they're trying to touch the pole and shit, Jack and Ashi, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and they're getting all, lovey-dovey and shit, fucking trying not to touch hands. Um, the green tigers are like scooting in, so it's making Jack and Ashi like get really close, and so they're looking at each other like back and forth, like because they're really close and shit. So they're getting like uncomfortable and awkward and shit. So while being inside the room or that taxi transportation thing, um, Jack noticed that it said like death to Samurai Jack on like each of the Green Tiger's shirts, and he started telling Ashley like, "I don't think we're alone. Like, I don't think these dudes are friendly or whatever he said." So then them tiger things start attacking Ashi and Samurai Jack. So Ashi and Samurai Jack, they both start whooping them green fucking tigers' ass, punching them, and then while they're punching the green tigers, just whooping all their asses and shit, they're like getting all awkward and like and shit again, like saying I'm sorry for bumping fists and all that shit, blah blah blah. So moving on, Jack and Ashi, they decide that like they don't want to be inside the fucking transportation or taxi or whatever, so they hop out the window. Sorry, and then like take the fucking the rope that the dude's using to control the fucking big ass camel thing, and they swung off of the taxi thing and onto the ground. And some of the green tigers stood up there, and some of them fell. And you see Samurai Jack like and Ashi like run off. Then they both start walking because like they had no transportation, so they both start walking. Then they came upon like some water and then shit. So they sat there and Jack made them both hats, like straw hats. Like that's like like a Easter egg or whatever from like the old seasons. Like he always used to make a fucking straw hat. So he made Ashi a straw hat. Like he made her own one. And then like after that it started fucking sandstorming. Like they're barely like struggling to get through the sandstorm, and their hats flew off. So and then they seen, I guess, that ship that crash land to Earth. Yeah, they seen that ship like a crack in it. So they fucking went to that crack and climbed inside. And then Jack was like, "We damn, it's big inside here. What the fuck?" So once they got inside there, they jumped to like the bottom because they had to hop like to the bottom. So once they got to the bottom, Ashi got something on her leg, and it was like, I guess it was hurting her. And Jack sliced it real quick with his sword, and then I guess it was diving into her fucking bloodstream or whatever. And he had to suck the fucking poison whatever. I'm sorry. He had to suck the poison out and just spit it out every time he sucked it out. Like damn. After that, they decided they needed to get out of there, so they start running like back and forth, and they start being like, "We just came from here" and all that shit. Then they bumped into some fucking weird ass monster that fucking, like, the thing that landed on Ashi's legs, that fucking, it looked like a leech, but it had like a bunch of them start coming out and forming into a fucking big ass blue monster, and fucking Jack was just slicing it up and shit, and then they ran from it. Well, they escaped from it. Then they're running past, and then like some flashing lights were going off on one room. Then they went to the room, and it ended up being like an armory where it was a bunch of weapons and all that shit. And it had the main thing that will kill the fucking, like, that one monster thing, the leech. All them leech things come to make that blue monster. It had that weapon, or a special weapon that will kill that monster. So while Samurai Jack was trying to listen to the instructions, Ashi like shot a gun and she like distracted him, so he didn't get the full instructions how to like operate the fucking weapon to destroy the monster. So not telling Ashi that he doesn't know how to do it, they went toward the monster to call him out and shit, and then the monster came out, and like they didn't know how to use the machine, so they're just sitting there trying to defend themselves. Fucking like Ashi shielding herself, and then Ashi fucking getting her like clothes fucking like like sucked off by that some of the leeches and shit, and Jack getting embarrassed, throwing his fucking robe on her and shit. Um, then Jack finally got the weapon to work, but like at the last moment where all the fucking leeches is like on Ashi and Jack, and it's like I guess it was hurting them because they're both screaming. But then the fucking weapon went off and it shocked every leech that was on them, and like it just made all the leeches like explode and like killed all the leeches. Then they both start like breathing hard as fuck, like they're having sex. Like what the fuck? Like Ashi's like, I'm sorry, but it was fucking hilarious. But out of nowhere, after they both start like done breathing, they start making out. Then it went black. Then you see them making out more. Then the fucking episode ends. So this episode was dope. I mean, it was actiony. You can tell the chemistry between Jack and Ashi was growing in this episode, so you knew they were gonna end up together. And pretty much this episode was like basically a Jack and Ashi episode, just leading them to be together. So I'm Jay, and this is my review on Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 8, and thank you for watching.